Okay, now we are at the end of the lesson 6, second part, the enlightenment. This part we are going to critically analyze what is the disadvantage and advantage of enlightenment. Okay, now this picture you see here, a horse that is just behaving in a way that it is not supposed to be, a wild horse, we can say. Okay, a wild horse. Horse should be tamed in such a way that they should do what we ask them to do in a more useful way. But here we see here the wild horse, no one can use it. It is out of control now. So this horse is out of control. This is exactly what we are going to consider the enlightenment. Okay, the criticism of enlightenment. So when the enlightenment movement was at its peak, industrialization in Europe was leading to exploitation of the nature. You see, in the beginning of the lesson, we saw that science and reason should make us more powerful than the nature, that we can control over the nature. Here what happens? Exactly the same thing is happening now. So we have the setup of many companies, industries, industrialization. So what they do in turn, they exploit the nature. People begin looking for coal, and what they do, they slowly dig up the mountains. Okay, so exploit the nature. So this exploitation of nature is what is the increasing of pollution and exploitation of the laboring classes. No, when you set up so many factories, you get people to work there. Okay, and you don't pay them enough. You get so much of work, there is no time frame for the work. What you do, you are exploiting the laboring class, poor people. Now you see the exploitation is taking place in different angle. No, in one way the enlightenment made people to think it's an advantage, think for themselves. In another way, it begins its own exploitation. First one is exploitation of nature. Okay, that's a pollution. And second one is the exploitation of laboring classes, poor people. Then again, another thing, the political upheavals disrupted traditional lifestyle. So because of that change of mindset, change of thinking, what happens? There are the political rivals. In one country they want to have democracy, in another country they want to go back to their own monarch rule. Okay, in another country there is a tug of war between the monarchy and democracy. So what happens now? There's internal struggle. Okay, the political upheavals that actually disturbs the normal lifestyle of the people. So it was during this period people came to know more about the tribal societies of America, Australia, and India that lived a simple and communal life in tune with the nature. It was during this time the people began to appreciate the tribal people who were living in tune with the nature. They were really happy. More than industry, people were happy to be with the nature. Then what happened? Now people began to talk about the enlightenment. Some, not the whole of enlightenment, but some aspects of enlightenment, the aspects of exploitation of the nature, the aspects of the exploitation of the poor people. So people who were distressed by the impact of the industrialization began criticizing the modern age. You see here, because the industrialization was the offshoot of enlightenment. So it was the poor people who were suffering because of this. So they began criticizing the modern age. They raised their voice against science and reason. So if they are against industrialization, if they are against enlightenment, naturally they are against science and reason. Prominent among them were the romantic philosophers like Rousseau and poets like Lord Byron. Okay, and all these people were against the enlightenment, against science and reason, because science and reason actually exploits the nature, and it will exploit everything which we have ever built. So in the place of modern industrial age, they lauded idyllic rural life that would be in consonance with nature. They said instead of going for the industrialization, we should learn to live with the nature. They say only this will give you true happiness. Okay, and you should not destroy the nature. So they wanted to preserve the fast disappearing folk arts and culture. So from here, what really happens now? They are trying to safeguard the disappearing culture, the disappearing language, the disappearing folk arts. Now right now what is happening to you is just the impact of the enlightenment in the tribal culture in your village. Many of your languages are disappearing. Many of your cultural arts are disappearing. Many of the age old practices that you were doing it, they are disappearing because of the impact of modernism, impact of the enlightenment. Okay, so these artists, these thinkers wanted to once again preserve those age old beautiful traditions. While the Enlightenment thinkers sang the praises of the power of science to understand the world, the Romanticists, they are against the Enlightenment thinkers. The Romanticists drew attention to things that could be understood only through emotions and feelings. Okay, now you see there is a division. Now there is a division between brain and heart. So the Enlightenment thinkers, they gave much importance to brain. They forgot about the heart. That is why these romanticists, okay, these people, they said no, brain is okay, but still you have to give importance to heart. You must give importance to emotions and feelings, heart. Okay, if you just give importance to only this, you will be just like this horse you see here, out of control. If brain is supported by heart, then what will happen? You can tame this horse, you can make it more useful. Brain and heart should go hand in hand. That's what these romanticists, they were saying. Okay, so with that, now the conclusion once again, you think for yourself. Okay, how you want to give importance to science. Science is good, reason is good, but they should not they should have their own limits. They should not go beyond the limit. Anything that is beyond the limit is always dangerous. You should know that. Okay, so with that we complete this lesson. I hope you understood and try to find answer to these questions. You got notes, follow the notes, or you read the lesson and then try to find answer to these questions. And in the exams I will be asking even from inside. Okay, as you study a lesson, you must study from A to Z, from the beginning to till end. Okay, so with that we complete the lesson, and all the best for your exams. Thank you.